Hello everybody, I'm John Gothia with Gopher Industrial, and today we have with us a special guest. We have one of our sponsored anglers with us, Todd Faircloth, that fishes the Bassmaster Elite Series tournament, and got a real exciting event coming up for him. He'll be in his 15th Classic that he's qualified for. Won 5 times on the Elite Trail, and so he's no stranger to the winner's circle. So we just want to sit down and have a little talk with him about the upcoming Classic and a few of the other things he does. So Todd, tell us a little bit about the Classic and how you're feeling about it.
Well, it's kind of the Super Bowl of bass fishing, I guess you would say. It's the pinnacle of our sport. So I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about it that it's in my home state of Texas. I think the last time they had a Classic in Texas it was like '76. So I was born in '75. So that kind of gives you.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. So. And it's only 2 hours from my home as well. So it's in the Houston area. We're going to be fishing on Lake Conroe. Be weighing in there at Minute Maid. And so I'm really excited about it. The people from the state of Texas and everybody surrounding it are really excited about it as well. We haven't had a Classic in Texas in so long, and people have been asking for it. And now we've got it, and I think they're going to come out and show everybody that Texas does it bigger and better.
Well, and I believe they will. I tell you what, I think that, Texas is one of the absolute biggest fishing states. I mean, we definitely love our outdoors here, especially our fishing and especially our bass fishing. So, we know that it's going to be a good event. We're for sure hoping that I think they're going to set some attendance records at this event. And, it's going to be a great venue, the largest expo ever that they've ever had. I think it's 350,000 square feet of expo space with product. But and the venue itself seats, right at 55,000 people, the way they're going to have it set up. So it's going to be a great event. But, a little bit more about the fishing side. And I know, and I don't want to get into none of your secrets and stuff because I know now we're into the off limits time. But, can you discuss a little bit about maybe some preparation you made, getting ready, because it's getting ready to be here in a couple weeks. So
the Classic goes off limits. Our normal Elite Series events is like a 30-day off limits period. The Classic's a little bit longer. I think it's almost 2 months. So it's been off limits for a long time now. I got to go over there 3 different times before it went off limits. And what most people don't understand, when I go to a body of water or a lake that far in advance, it doesn't do a whole lot of good to actual fish, So what I'm doing is just kind of familiarizing myself with the lake, riding around, graphing around, and just getting a good visual of it and understanding the feel for it, I feel like if you go over there and you do a lot of fishing and you catch a lot of fish in a certain area, they may or may not be there 2 months from then. So I don't really get caught up in the fishing aspect of it, just more riding around, familiarizing myself with it, knowing what's around the next corner, and turning every leaf over. That's kind of the way I go about my pre-practice. Now, when we do the official practice, it's a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's important because a lot of us are weekend anglers. We have a great time on the water. Some of us get on it a little bit more than that, but the most time we're doing it. And I think that our idea of how you guys practice, for an event, especially 2-3 months out in advance, to what we think about practice is so different. And we're thinking you're going out there and you're fishing and you're dodoing all this stuff, when in reality, what you're saying is you're going out there and you're just looking at the body of water, trying to find out where those fish are going to be in 2 months.
Yeah.
Because they move and stuff, and that's important, I think, for a lot of the guys that want to do this, and like to do this, that there's a process in place that gets you prepared for an event, because as opposed to me, who fishes, I'm Rayburn, Toledo Bend, but you guys are all over the United States, and so you're having to go to those practices well in advance to be able to be prepared for that, and it's a different event.
It is, and I've gotten to where at this stage in my career, unless the body of water's close to the house or it's a body of water that's kind of hard to navigate, like a river or something like that, I normally don't even pre-fish before it goes off limits. I show up for the official practice and I practice for it. But since this one was so close to the house, so conveniently there, and it's a pretty big event too, so I felt like it'd do me some good to go over there and put some time in and just kind of familiarize myself with it. A lot of people don't understand also about when we go into official practice, and the official practice is like the days leading up to the tournament. We get 3.5 basically practice days for the Classic itself, and that'll begin next week. So it's not about catching fish in official practice. It's about finding fish in official practice. So there and again, you know, a lot of, like you said, a lot of people think when we go out there and practice, you know, we're catching fish, you know, and stuff like that. That's not necessarily the case. You know, we're fishing, but we're trying to find them. You know, we're not wanting to catch them when it doesn't count. We're wanting to catch them when it does count.
Well, and I think you kind of hit on something there that I think a lot of tournament anglers and weekend tournament anglers like myself that that we think about it, that you have to think about it a little different, and that is that the trick is finding the fish. I mean, I consider myself a pretty good fisherman, but the trick's finding them. And if I can get somebody who takes me there and puts me on the fish, I know how to catch them.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what takes the guys that are able to make it to the semi-professional fishing level, and the guys in your line where you're full professional fishermen, that's the difference, is that ability to be able to find those fish first and then catch them second. Because if you can't find them, you're not going to catch them. And that's important.
That's the whole deal. At our level, they can all catch them.
That's right.
They can all catch them. So it's about finding them, and it's also about making adjustments throughout the event. And that comes with, just almost like a sixth sense of knowledge, that you've built up over the years, and you try to use that, when you're put in those situations. But just really excited about it. If you've never been to a Bassmasters Classic, guys, I would like to invite you to come. Not only is there just fishing going on at the Bassmasters Classic, there's, like you mentioned before, John, the Expo is going to be the biggest we've ever had. There's all kinds of stuff to look at, industry related, non-industry related, and it's just a great place to come. Bring your family, bring your kids. There's something to do for everybody there at the Expo, and some of my great sponsors are going to be there, and they're going to have booths up. Gopher Industrial is going to be there. Make sure you go by the booth and register for a chance to win a $1,000 Bass Pro Shop gift card. You can also, if you're not going to make it to the Classic, you can also go to gopherindustrial.com and register online to win that gift card as well. So another thing that I'd like to bring up is one of my sponsors that I've been with in my entire career is Skeeter Boats.
Yes.
They built the first ever bass boat. And they still build them today, right now, in the great state of Texas. And I'm just happy that they finally get a Classic, in their backyard. And all my other great sponsors are going to be there. Make sure you go by their booth and check out all the new products that they've got. And it's just going to be a great time.
It is, and like I said, the Classic Expo itself, on top of the fishing being family oriented event, the Classic Expo is definitely a family oriented. If you want to see the latest and the greatest in all the tackle and all that they come out with, that's definitely the place to see it. From kids' fish tanks, I mean, there's numerous things. We could sit here all day and announce and talk about things that they're going to have. And as far as us, Gopher Industrial, we're kind of a new entry into this fishing world. Been kind of dabbling in it for a couple of years, but now we're kind of full blown into it. We're going to have our booth there. And the thing that's, we're bringing some companies in that's not typically what people consider into the fishing industry, but they really are. And, and that's with our MCR Safety Company and Miller Electric and then Cox Reels. And, we're going to have their stuff set up, and it's not just for industrial people. Of course, we do that, but it's for what you use in your shop. Because one of the things we like to say is, the guys that are fishing on the weekend, they're putting down their welding rod that they've used all week, and they're picking up a fishing rod on the weekend. And so we know that both of them cross hand in hand, and you'll be able to see those products too, because it's a great avenue. Because most, like I said, most of us, that's what we do. We work all week long, we work hard, and then we go play hard, and we get in that Skeeter boat. And we go to Bass Pro Shops and pick up our product, and we go fish, and we have a good time.
Most of the people that associate with Gopher Industrial and buy the products that they sell, it's amazing how big a percentage of those people enjoy the outdoors. They fish and they hunt, and you can also get that little handy shovel. I see some stuff out there in the deal that Mom wants you to do. To stay on her good side, so you can go fishing on the weekend.
That's right. It's like I said, if you go to their website, you'll definitely see that we have a lot of product lines, and we have a lot of product lines that'll only fit you as far as personal stuff also that you need, but also as an industrial, that you have. We have just about everything you'd want. But I know that you're getting excited. I know that also. So following up the Classic, we'll go and kind of talk about Toledo Tournament, because I ran into you on the water about a week ago. And you know, because you're off limits on the Classic, but you can still practice for the Toledo tournament.
Well, it's
and,
off limits now.
Okay, well, but that was before. You said I saw you before. Let's make that clear. We saw him before. But you know, again, you were doing kind of that similar thing with just kind of looking around, and you know, I know you're excited about that, and you know, you want to kind of practice that. But do you think that they're going to fish maybe similar, or do you think it's going to be different?
Well, Toledo Bend is going to be about a month later, so it's going to be close to a month later, but I think they'll fish similar in some ways, but I think it's going to be a little bit further along. You know, right now in this area, we've had a really, really mild winter.
Yes.
I mean, we've had a very mild winter, so I think everything's going to be a little bit ahead of itself than it normally is. I also think though that fish kind of have a biological clock that they go by, and they know what's going to happen, you know, at a certain time of year. But I also feel like, you know, when we have a warm, mild winter like we've had, that might be a little bit earlier than it normally is. But, you know, I went over to Toledo Bend. It's a lake that I grew up fishing. It's one of the greatest lakes in the country. Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend is where I cut my teeth fishing. And it's amazing how much that lake has changed from when I fished it a bunch back in the 90s, you know. And what's the neat thing about Rayburn and Toledo Bend is they're grass lakes primarily. And grass lakes change year to year to year to year. It doesn't hardly ever grow in the same spot or the same depth every year. So I was just familiarizing myself with the lake, you know, riding around, looking around, and you know, looking at some stuff that I had some history on, and looking at some stuff that I've never even looked at before. Toledo Bend is so big.
It's a vast lake.
Every time I go over there, I'm mesmerized by how big it is. I went down a boat lane the other day, and I was like, I don't think I've ever drove down this boat lane.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how big it is.
That's right. And the fish from one end, you know, in a lake such as that can fish totally different from the north end to the south end. So it's you know, it's a different planning process. And you know, I know we're excited. I tell you, I know a lot of you guys have been following Todd for a lot of years like we have, and Todd's an excellent fisherman. You know, like I said, he's got 5 wins and 15 Classic appearances, and you know, he's been right there, right there so many times. We were in Carolina with you here, and you know, and you're right there in the hunt, and we know you're due. It's going to come. You know, you're too good of a fisherman for it not to happen for you sooner or later. It's going to happen because you're always right there, and you got to be in the game. You got to be in play that final day, and you've made it a habit of doing that.
Yeah.
And so we're looking forward to that. And you know, I'd like to tell you again, we want you to come by the booth for sure. Come and see us. But fortunately, Todd's not going to be there. And I say fortunately because Todd's fishing again this year. And so he's going to be out on the water, but you can for sure come and see us at the booth and come see everything else we've got, and then some other special guests that we'll have throughout the weekend while we're there. But anything else you'd like to add, Todd? I mean, we sure appreciate everything you do for us at Gopher, and your fishing ability and everybody's ability to be able to watch you and follow you. It's fun. It's fun to watch you go.
I appreciate that, John. And just, you know, wrap it up. I just like to thank everybody, and like I said earlier, just invite you to come out and enjoy the expo and enjoy the show and the weigh-in and everything. I think it'll be a really exciting event.
All right, man. Well, thank you again, Todd. Again, from Gopher Industrial, John Gothia and Todd Faircloth.